Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kakatiya IIT and Medical Foundation online classes, Nizamabad. This is Ushasri and I deal with biological sciences. So children, as you're in 8th standard now, you have completed your lower levels and you have just entered into next level, higher level of education. So from here onwards, your science subject will be divided into physical sciences and biological sciences. Okay, so I deal with biology. So today in this session, we'll be discussing some basic points about the biology. Okay, so today we'll be discussing about the subject biology. Right. So what is this biology actually? Biology, it is a word, it is a combination of two Greek words. So if you break this word biology, if you break this word bios means life. Okay, and logos means study. So biology is a combination of two Greek words, bios and logos, which means the study of life or simply the study of living organisms. Okay, so this is the meaning of the word biology, the study of living organisms. Okay, so children, I think you know what are living things and non-living things. You have studied right from your 3rd standard, I think. So you know what is the difference between living things and non-living things. Coming to living things, we know very well that all living organisms, they are made up of cells. Okay, all the living organisms completely, they are made up of innumerable cells, many cells. Okay, so that's why there is a need to know about the cell. The first very point we have to learn in this biology subject is about the cell. Okay, so what is a cell actually? And if you come to the meaning of the cell, generally the cell is known as the basic unit of the life. Cell is the basic unit of life. Okay, it is the basic unit of life. What is the meaning of this one? Basic unit means the very important unit, very important part. Okay, without which there is no existence of life. This is the meaning of basic unit. So we know very well that all living organisms are able to survive only because of the cell. So that's why cell is known as the basic unit of life. Okay, cell is also known as the structural and functional unit of life. Structural and functional unit of life. Now, what is the meaning of this one? Why it is called a structural unit? Why? Because each and every living organism, they get their structure only because of the arrangement of the cells inside their body. How the cells are arranged. Okay, so this arrangement of the cells, they give the structure to that particular organism. Okay, for example, if you group many cells together, that group of cells will become a tissue. Okay, the group of cells, first cells. When some cells are brought together, a group of cells, they make up a tissue. And tissue, they make up organs. Okay, and many organs, they make up organ system. Okay, and in this manner, at the end, these organ systems, they make a complete organism. They make an organism. Okay, now what is the basic unit of this structure of the organism? That is nothing but the cell. So cells become the structural unit of living organism. Right now, why they are called as functional unit? Because due to the functioning of each and every individual cell, the life is possible. Because all the cells are working continuously, they are functioning continuously, then only the living organism is able to live. Okay, so that's why it also becomes the functional unit of life. Now, altogether, the cell is the basic unit of life, and it is also known as the structural and functional unit of life. Okay, so this is the important point to be remembered. Right, now coming to the history of the cell. Now coming to history of the cell, this is the important topic here, history of the cell. Okay, so related to this topic, there are two very important persons, two important scientists whose name need to be mentioned here. Okay, and that scientists are, the first person is Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke. Okay, so this Robert Hooke, he was the first person who first observed the cell. Okay, the credit of observing the cell for the first time goes to the person named Robert Hooke. Okay, so Robert Hooke in the year 1665, he observed the bark of a tree under a microscope. Okay, now what is the meaning of bark of a tree? Bark means the outer, very dry outer covering. The dry and rough covering of the tree is known as bark. So when he took a small piece of that bark and he observed under the microscope, he observed some hexagonal like structures in that region. Under the microscope, he observed some hexagonal structures like this. Okay, many number of hexagonal structures he saw under the microscope. Okay, so these were some compartment like structures. So by seeing this, he told that all these small compartments which are present in that bark, so he named these, later he named them as cell. Each of the compartment of that bark, he named them as a cell. Okay, so the Robert Hooke was the first person to observe the cell, but that was a dead cell. Okay, it was a dead cell. Now, what is the meaning of dead cell? The dead cell means the cell in which all the internal parts or all the internal material have been completely dried up. Okay, the cell in which there is nothing, empty, the cell which is empty, such type of a cell is called as dead cell. So when he observed the bark cells, they were dead cells, right? But after some years, another person, the second person was Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Okay, so this person in the year 1674, some 9 to 10 years later, this Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he observed a little amount of pond water. Okay, he took some amount of pond water and he observed under the microscope. And when he observed, he found very small, tiny particles moving here and there. And they were nothing but the living cells. They were the living cells. And that were nothing but bacteria. Later on, he came to know that they were nothing but they are bacteria. So here you may get two types of questions on this topic, ma. Who was the first person to observe the cell? Okay, if that is a question, the answer will be Robert Hooke. He was the first person to observe the cell. But if you get a question on like, who was the first person who observed the living cells for the first time? And then your answer will be Anton van Leeuwenhoek. This Anton van Leeuwenhoek, he observed the living cells for the first time. Okay, so they gave their lot of valuable explanation to this science biology field. Okay, now coming to this shapes cell theory. One of the important topic here is cell theory. Okay, so this cell theory, it explains that all the living organisms are made up of cells and from where the new cells are coming. Okay, so related to this topic, the scientists who are important in this field are Schleiden and Schwann. Schleiden and Schwann. Okay, so these are the two scientists who explained that, who explained clearly that all the living organisms are made up of cells. So this was the first point given in the cell theory. So the cell theory, it postulates the first point is all the living organisms are made up of cells. And this was explained by Schleiden and Schwann. But these two persons, they failed to explain from where the new cells were coming. Okay, so how an organism grows? An organism grows when the cells inside them multiply. When the cells inside them, they reproduce, they multiply. But multiplication means coming of new cells. Okay, so the Schleiden and Schwann, they were unable to explain from where these new cells are coming. Okay, and this point was explained clearly by one more scientist called as Rudolf Virchow. Rudolf Virchow. Okay, so this was the person, scientist Rudolf Virchow. He explained very clearly from where the new cells are coming. So this person, he gave one statement called as omnis cellula e cellula. Omnis cellula e cellula. So actually this is a statement of Latin language. This is a statement from Latin language, omnis cellula e cellula. It means that new cells are coming from nowhere, but they are coming from the pre-existing cells. New cells, they come from the cells which are already existed. Okay, so this point was made clear by Rudolf Virchow. So if a first cell is dividing, if a first cell divides into two cells, these two new cells, they came from the already existing cell. For example, here I'll draw, this is the first cell. So when first cell divides, it forms two new cells. So these two new cells, they came from the already existing cell. And this point was explained by this Rudolf Virchow. So omnis cellula e cellula means new cells arise from pre-existing cells. Pre-existing cells. So these are the 2 points which we see in cell theory. Okay, so cell theory, it was put forward by 3 scientists, Schleiden and Schwann and Rudolf Virchow. Okay, so what are the 2 points which were explained in this cell theory? The first one is all the organisms are made up of cells. And the second point is new cells arise from the pre-existing cells, right? So this is about the cell theory. Now coming to next point, that is classification of cells. Okay, so the next topic we'll discuss here is classification of cells. Right? It is classification of cells. Now, organisms will be different. In your surroundings, if you see, you can see different organisms. Some will be big, some will be small, some will be very small, minute, which cannot be seen with the naked eyes, which will be microscopic organisms.